I think there's a movie called something like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. This one is about the hitchhiker's guide to living life based upon my experience. A friend told me that, and that's from a high school friend, and maybe 50 years later we met and we talked, and after a while he said, my life is like hitchhiking. And that kind of impacted me. It sounded like a little bit negative, but at the same time, he's got the point. We are born without our knowledge how or when and with whom, and then meet parent, friend, and go to school, meet friend, and read a book accidentally, and that triggers us, and then move this direction or that direction. We think, well, shall we go this direction or that direction? It's like a hitchhiking. And you cannot live alone, so you need to use the vehicle available, whatever the method, flying or diving or hitchhiking, your own. And it helps if you meet some friend or the book or any inspiring situation you get that change way of life and keep on moving. You get married and maybe divorced. I went through divorce twice, once in Japan, one in the US, Japanese and Caucasian, and relationship here and there. And it's not to be self-centered because everybody is doing the hitchhiking, if you think like that. So I may behave like more of a hitchhiker than others because I may have gone through different situations, up and down, right and left. And I was actually thinking even investment, choosing the stock to buy or where to put the money is also depending upon what kind of knowledge you have, skills you acquire, and what's available at the time. So there's nothing you can do. Let me just turn this on. In terms of external situation, but in terms of our choice, what to do, we can do some judgment in that process, even though the choice may be based upon what we have learned, acquired, and even certain skills or habit. Some are good, some are bad. You just have it. So the vision, ideas, the way to go varies depending upon the experience, but still we may do our best and meet someone, have a conversation, and then leave. I'm to go to Japan in about a month. Every year I go and I meet my high school friends. That's one event that I'm looking for. And this time we are about the age of 76 or something of that nature. And so it's like 60 years ago. We spent 3 years together in this high school. Wonderful experience. Playful, having fun. That's my impression. Maybe other people have different impression. So I think that cultivated my spirit and energy and interest. I have to ride on the train 1 hour and a half each direction. That's crazy. But something good was that's part of the hitchhike, I guess, is that I read lots of books. Well, I slept in the train, that also the place, or meet people to go to high school together. But all the process, it's a long story perhaps, is by almost like accident to meet people, come up with an idea, find a direction to go, create a vision, and so forth. Actually, one of the moments that I had was that when I was in college, I saw a beautiful scenery of New Zealand, and I think that was something related to Air New Zealand, probably. I went in there to their office, and there was a beautiful picture of the nature and the guy probably fly fishing, but I'm not sure. So that triggered me. Okay, that's the way to go. There's an apple farm I found because I met the guy at the college that he spent time for 1 year. So that's one of the events that triggered me to think combining this visit in this New Zealand office, whatever, and also meeting this guy who had experience of New Zealand working at the apple farm. So that triggered me. Okay, instead of going ahead with the Japanese way, the way it's set up that I am to go to a good school, college, and then good school and live life. That was what was believed to be good, but something triggered me. Wait a minute, look at this picture. This is great nature, the mountain, stream. Why not go there, spend some time? So, I hate to use the word regret, but regretfully, what happened is this, that this hitchhike didn't work. I lined up the idea, met, corresponded with this apple farm somewhere in New Zealand, I don't remember, I think South Island. And okay, I can do this. I went to the college. I want to get 1 year off. What is the procedure? Well, this is the way to do it. You have to pay half the year of tuition or something, which was a bit surprised, but that was the rule. So one evening, I remember that was in the winter time, I was talking with my father. He has an idea to go to New Zealand and spend time off. Well, I had to convey or convince my father that it's okay. I don't know why. I now kind of, like I said, almost regret that why I didn't push it. But anyway, that's the system, that's the protocol, a hierarchy. So I talked to my father and he said, well, maybe not. If you go now, then you will delay, and for that, you have to earn money 1 year later. So after 40 years, 50 years of work, the last 1 year you make may be so much different or something of that nature. And he's a businessman and had some experience, had some role in the company. And I felt like he was a good friend, but still I had to listen. And around that time I had a girlfriend, so, well, maybe he's right. So that's the moment that I didn't take this car, if that's the moment of the hitchhike. But after that, I kind of regretted for sure. Why didn't I do it? Because that's the desire from my heart. There was some yearning within myself. And do something different than living in the island of Japan and working and doing this and that is a process that is expected, but I had the doubt. I questioned. That's the Zen saying I was talking in the end of the video. In the questioning is the answer. So the questioning comes from unconscious without your knowing exactly to take this route or that route, take this car or wait for another car to come. Which way to go? Should I stop here and move this way? So that's just the process of life. Anyway, long story short, I didn't go to New Zealand because of my father, but it stayed with me. I had a good relationship with my girlfriend. Instead, I went to Hawaii. Anyway, So that's just a symptom of what happened. And if I reflect back my life, as my high school friend told me what I have done, I may have done quite a bit compared to some Japanese people. My friends stayed in Japan. Out of 53 or 55 classmates in high school, where we spent 3 years together, I think I'm one of the few who was out of Japan. So when I go back to Japan, I feel like I'm a different person. My experience base is different, my thinking is different. So they are somewhat understandable and behaving well in Japanese society. I'm a little wild to explore the world. So anyway, whether it's wild or not, everybody's going through choosing a skill, company, the relationship, hobby, whatever the case is, and make a decision. So overall, this idea of hitchhiking life's journey, is common for all of them. So depends on the background, of course, the vision, skills, how to make a decision is different. And I think it's good to think like that. That's the reason for me to do this video, which is that we all have the moment of judgment, moment of gaining skill, moment of meeting people, changing the life's course event, even divorce may happen, right? So maybe one of the skill I got, whether it's a skill or habit or bad influence from my parents, I don't know. Because I thought maybe my grandfather was one of those with exploratory nature. So he had his hitchhiking, if I may say so, from the Ishikawa Ken. There was an earthquake recently in that area, remote, and grandmother told me they used to have a silkworm, told me the story of the life there, small village. But from such a village, my grandfather and mother came out to Tokyo. How it happened? But it's kind of like a unique setting that he had that entrepreneurial skill or desire. So he did that. And he was fairly successful running the public bath for all of them. And something happened because at age 50 he succeeded, perhaps, he thought. So he was drinking lots of sake and entertaining people who come visit him, not working much. And my father was born, perhaps with some influence from my grandfather, and he behaved not like a typical Japanese businessman, but more out-of-the-box kind of person that is to come up with ideas, and was very successful starting from accounting to sales and even CEO of some small company, even medium-sized company. And his style of work, someone else who told me after his death that the company didn't, or the point that this person was saying that is that my father didn't have a system to develop in the company. So after he left, the company hired another president and didn't do well. So maybe he was too sporadic and creative, but without system for others to follow, that company went quite well when he was alive and for a while after his leaving the company. Anyway, so that's another character of my father. And influence to me is that I had him more like a friend also, although he was a father. So there was that relationship. I have to figure out my life on my own, except he shared his view of what is to be expected living in Japan, except, of course, this is 1970s, even before that. The international globalization is too young to think to go out of Japan. So that's just another story to be confined in certain fixed idea or common knowledge to make a judgment. So that's the point of this Hitchhiker's Guide of Living Life. There are lots of occasions, opportunities. Listen to your heart. Of course, when you are young, the choice may be limited. I remember those limited choice when I was young. And that was part of the learning, that you do things because of the way they do it. But I had the question. So questioning is the origin of looking for the life, and that questioning process, as I mentioned about the Zen saying, is to not just give answer straightforward, to take this car or that car or this truck, all of that. So listen to your heart. Use the best knowledge of what you got. Triangulate. Have references. Some people you admire or learn something, how they lived. Perhaps read autobiography or some background of that person, why he is doing what he's doing and why, how. More we have those references from our younger days, I think it helps us not to be confined and narrow-minded. It may be a stretch to be associated with unknown situation. Like I went through engineering, nuclear, even Fukushima safety analysis in 70s. I questioned to be in Japan, so I went to the US and worked with the company in California. And later I went to the business school, got the MBA, switching, because what's the potential of doing this versus that? That's the moment of judgment. And living here, getting married, taking risk, sometimes make a mistake and you learn the lesson. Your life. This happens. Don't repeat the same mistake as much as possible and move on. That's what I say. In 1 month, I'll be meeting my friend. We'll have 2 days, 2 nights, or 3 days, 2 nights at one of the friend's house. 4 of us in this case. In other case, maybe 50 people, but for this occasion, I thought it's good to get together, compare notes, still have various references. The other 3 has different background. That helps. So each moment, take it seriously and having fun, not too serious, yet remembering how we make a decision is critical to go this direction or that direction. So before this meeting coming up in a few months, because I'll be in Japan for 2 months, so at the end of it we meet, I start to think of what kind of questions I have. Hope you enjoy life. Hope you have good references. If you visit this video by accident, like hitchhiking, and get to this point, that's what happened. You may go this way or that way, maybe come back. There was a case that I hitchhiked and met the same person afterward by accident hitchhiking. So you never know. Hope you enjoy your life of hitchhiking, moving forward, doing your best, helping each other. May all beings be happy.